Well, you like my spring compressor? 8 million zip ties. This thing, what happened, I'm not compressing the shock because what happened was the rod, the piston rod, actually unscrewed from this. I'm taking the shock off, and this whole thing like just comes off. Like it, I was like, why is this thing not coming? Like I raised the bike up. When you raise the bike up, it takes all the pressure off the shock. Well, the piston was unscrewed from the top, and that was dangerous. I mean, I had. I mean, I could have like. I don't know why I did that. These were cheap shocks, though. I remember I got them. They were like hugger shocks, and I'm like, well, I screwed it back in there really tight. I'm going to double check it again, put it back on, but I got to get a spring compressor. Man, I'm like, all the tools I got. So I tried doing a freaking one zip tie, boop. So I was doing 4, and even sometimes they would break. And I finally got it screwed on there. And it's the piston rod. If you can see it, yeah, right there. See that piston rod? That screws into that eye bolt up there on the top. And it was unscrewed. I was like, how did that happen? Because I don't think they, when I looked at it though, I says that the threads on that were screwed into this, they were kind of rusty. So it might have only been in there, I don't know. The only way I think it can happen is when you go to adjust the shock down here. But that wouldn't unscrew it like a whole bunch of turns, You would, if you adjust it, you would maybe unscrew it a little bit, and then it would screw it back in. If you adjust, I only adjusted it one time, I think. I don't know what the deal is, man. This is weird. I'm glad I was looking at this, and I'm like, man, oh man. There's always something, man. Always something. So I'm gonna get a spring compressor, and I'm gonna double check this. See, I got the 2 vice grips on here on the piston, which I could scratch it a little bit, but I don't think so much because I got it up real high, and I was torquing it on real good with a big giant Phillips screwdriver, and it should be good. But it was actually the shock actually fell apart, and these are probably only a couple years old too. Cheap stuff. They didn't screw it on there good. I should have put Loctite on, I guess, when I did it, but I'm just gonna tighten the hell out of it. Let me put it to you this way. I've been working on this for 2 hours trying to figure out something to make this work. So I says, well, it doesn't have a Loctite. It doesn't need it, but, valve spring compressors coming in, man. Definitely. Well, all better. I'm glad I was getting ready to put some saddlebag supports on here, and actually the hardware for the supports isn't even right. So I'm gonna probably grind down the support. So just take this spacer out, and the support will be just this wide over here, and bolt it to the outside of that. I don't know, should be all right. Get some more hardware, but I was taking, see, normally when you take the shock off, you raise the bike, and you raise it just enough where it'll pull off the studs, right? And I'm like, how come this isn't coming off? It's like got all this spring pressure on there. Because, and then I'm pulling it off, and I'm like, this whole thing just came off. Because this piston was not screwed into that. And I'm thinking, you don't mess with that. I mean, it's just how the shock is made. And it wasn't like that when I bought it. But I think it might have only been screwed in there a couple turns or something like that. And I've been riding around with that thing like that for I don't know how long. And I'm like, this one ain't like that, I don't think. No. What I should do, stick some vice grips in here and just turn that thing to make sure it's screwed in there good or something. I don't know. I'm not going to touch it, man. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to leave it alone. Just leave it alone. But I'm going to get a spring compressor. Boy, that tells you why you need to, do your, check your bike over. So you got antique plates on here too, see? That's cool, huh? Anyway, and don't let anybody discourage you from riding an 883. I was thinking about, you know, doing a 1200. Like I say, now I got the extra cylinders and stuff, but I'm like, nah, I don't think so, man. I think I'm gonna just leave it the hell alone, man, because it gets a little bit better mileage. So I only got a 3.8 gallon tank, so I really can get like 185 miles with my gas mileage with the plus a reserve, right? So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But if I'm I'm in an actual club or something, if I actually did that, you know, maybe they'll let me use this as my spare bike in case the other one was broken or something. But you can't ride an 883 in most of the clubs. You know, the clubs. You know, I'm not talking about the big four or nothing like that. But who the hell knows? Maybe not. You know, a lot of garbage with that too, man. A lot of not garbage. It's a lot of work to get into that, and a lot of money. I don't know. I'm just going to be independent. The hell with it. Anyway, over now.